Welcome, Center County families. Todd Costello from RE/MAX Center Realty. It is May of 2021, and it's time for the monthly value message. Welcome. For my clients who are seeing this in an email, the monthly market data is posted to the email, so you can take a look at that. I'll make note of the demand rate. We have higher demand than we've had in really decades, so take a look at that. If you're viewing this at Facebook or some other social media site, you can go to my website, toddcostello.com, and take a look at the monthly value message for this month, and you can also sign up to receive the monthly value message, so it'll just come to your email inbox beginning of the month, usually by the 10th of each month. So what I want to share this month are just 2 points. I want to give a little update and a little perspective on how our market is compared to previous years, firstly, and then the second thing is I just want to touch on the difference between appraised value and market value. So let's take a look at the whiteboard. Something of interest, these are year-to-date closed residential sales. So these are the number of properties as recorded and conveyed and shared and disseminated by the Center County Association of Realtors Multiple Listing Service that have sold and closed, transferred from January 1st through May 4th each year for the last 5 years. And this is just giving you a really incredible snapshot to the stability of the Center County housing market. So in 2017, there were 357 closed residential transactions from January 1st to May 4th in the market that I track. The market that I track consists of the State College, Bellefonte, Bald Eagle, and Penns Valley School District. So I like to keep it tight in Center County. Those 4 school districts, the total number of sales from January 1st to May 4th in 2017 was 357. In 2018, 362, 356, 343, and 348. So regardless of, for active buyers and sellers, regardless of the emotions involved in the actions that you're taking in listing your home or making an offer on a home, regardless of what you hear from friends and neighbors and realtors, oh, the market's so hot, it's so amazing, I've never seen anything like it, there's some truth to all of that, but the data doesn't lie. So I think it's a great snapshot of reality of what's actually occurring. So bottom line is, what this is screaming is stability. The Center County market, as my long-term clients know, as I share this information with them monthly, is incredibly stable. And that's a good thing for families and for our community. So just a little snapshot, a little perspective on what's actually going on. For 5 years, each year, this is within 20 transactions. The low of 343 last year and the high of 362 closed transactions in the first few months of each year, within 20 transactions, that's incredible. So bottom line, stability, that's a good thing. It's why we're Happy Valley. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, appraised value versus market value. This is something that I think your average consumer can be a little confused about, and that's natural because it is a little confusing. So definitions, let's start with definitions. Appraised value is the value assigned to a property from a licensed appraiser. Only a licensed appraiser can do an appraisal. They need to have an appraiser's license. The bank will order an appraisal. They'll do market search. They'll check for comparable sales, and they will say, this property, this subject property, based on my analysis of other recent sales, and they will set a value. This is the appraised value. That value is typically used by a bank because you're looking to borrow money from the bank, and the appraiser is the eyes of the bank. The bank is an entity. They'll never see your house. So they hire an independent appraiser to set a value on it, and that will determine for the bank whether or not they'll convey a loan to you, and if so, how much they'll convey. So the appraised value is very important from a lending standpoint. Market value, on the other hand, is defined as, my definition, what a qualified buyer will pay in a reasonable amount of time. So appraised value is just a set number by a licensed appraiser, an independent appraiser, Boom, this is the value of the home that gets submitted to the bank. Market value is actually what the consumers are willing to pay for your home. So as you move through life, buyers, sellers, homeowners, you're getting a home equity loan, you get an appraisal of 425, and you then think that your property is worth 425. That may or may not be the case. Sometimes the appraised value and the market value just happen to be the same or similar, but not always. And you never want to assume that because you have an appraisal that your property is worth that. Market value is the truer number of what it's worth in the marketplace. So I tell sellers all the time, it doesn't really matter too much what I as your realtor or you as the seller think. Let's say I'm sitting with a couple and the three of us are looking at the market data and we're trying to come up with a price. I always share with my clients, regardless of the price we come up with as the selling side, once we unveil your property in the marketplace, if a qualified, motivated buyer doesn't agree with us, then we're wrong. So that's market value. Appraised value is what an individual licensed appraiser thinks it's worth. So just a point to keep in the back of your mind. Share this with family and friends. Share this with coworkers, people that are actively buying and selling right now, just so they have an understanding, number one, of the stability of our market, and number two, the very important difference between appraised value and market value. That's this month's message. I will see you in June. Have a great month.